faces, speaking into a dictaphone. Roisin's 6-year-old brother,
Ben.
feeds pickles to Goldie, an old cocker spaniel. Ignoring the festivities, birthday girl Roisin, a tomboy stuffed into a prickly lace party dress, peers forlornly out the front gate. Isabel clip-clops down the road, her favourite silk scarf fluttering in the breeze. Patrick follows behind her with the horse box.
No sound of her?
No?
Where is she?
She's on her way. She should be here any minute.
So what was so important that she had to tend to today? She's the hostess. She should be here already.
She will be. Any second now.
Ben, look! Mommy did get the horse!
As she nears the gate, Isabel recklessly throws her head back, digs her heels in. Mr. Ed sails over the front wall, landing a few feet in front of the children.
Mr. Ed has arrived!
God, I thought you'd been run over.
Always the worrier. I told you I could do it. This is, after all, the birthday gift of a lifetime.
Oh, you can say that again. But why didn't you just bring him in the horse box?
I wanted Mr. Ed to get to know me.
Well, by now, I'm sure you're intimately acquainted.
Now, children, we'll have no pushing, please. Roisin's the birthday girl, and Mr. Ed is her pony. She gets to ride first.
Goldie, the dog, races to Isabel, vigorously biting her tail. Isabel plants a series of noisy little kisses on the dog's head. Horrified, Rachel turns to
Devil.
her no-nonsense sister.
As if a hog wasn't enough. Now a horse?
She's English. What do you expect? They love their animals.
It's a pity they don't have the same regard for the families.
It's a mushagast riding a horse or through traffic like that.
Everyone else has a party at the zoo. No, not Isabel. She has to buy the whole for custom pony.
Fern Hills, sitting room, evening.
Margaret, a letter to Gerald Sweeney re cost of mattress filler.
Oh, Sammy! Haven't you done enough work for one day? We hardly even saw you at the party. Can't you forget about mattress filler? Just for one evening.
It's the party I can't forget about. The food, the champagne, the flowers, the pony. I can't even bring myself to calculate the expense of it all.
That's the problem with you Goldsteins. Always worrying about the expense of the expense. Your family just don't know class when they see it.
No need for you to get all high and mighty. My father arrived from Lithuania in 1904 and travelled the length and breadth of the country.
With a horse and cart, rain or shine, I know the story inside out.
Well then, show some respect.
They don't show me respect, Sonny. They call me a mashugana behind my back in my own home. I hear them.
Don't be so defensive. That's just their way. They don't mean anything. They mean no harm by it.
If only Papa could have been here, he would have loved it.
Well, there'll be other parties.
Mrs. May is leaving here next week. Next month, you know. Remember what we talked about?
I gave you my word. He's always welcome here.
Isabel turns on the gramophone. Frankie Valli's, you're just too good to be true.
I'm sorry I got cross. It was a wonderful party, darling.
Fern Hills, master bedroom, night. Samuel awakens and reaches for Isabel, but her side of the bed is empty. He tiptoes along the hallway, opening bedroom doors and peeking inside each one. Fern Hills, garage doorway. Samuel peers through the darkness past the bales of hay, feeding buckets and tackle. Standing in the far corner is Mr. Ed, with Isabel curled in fetal position beside him. Next morning, she wheels her wheelbarrow through streets broad and narrow, when few drops of milk splash across the table. Teresa briskly pours Isabel a cup of black coffee and sets a plate of burnt toast in front of her.
What's all this racket about?
Ash, you know what I say. It's only spilled milk. No point in crying over it, is there now?
If I've told her once, I've told her 100 times. Hold the spoon like a lady. No.
You didn't exactly get a good night's rest, did you, Pet? What possessed you to sleep in the garage with the pony?
I heard him crying.
Do ponies cry then?
If they do, only your mother can hear them. Now, come on, children. You better get a move on. You don't want to be late for school.
Isabel continues her feverish chopping until her plate is smothered in breadcrumbs. Noon. Isabel sits at the table, still nursing a coffee, an overflowing ashtray within reach. She pulls on a Rothmans and languidly blows smoke rings into the air. Goldie is perched on a chair beside her. Isabel pops little pieces of crumbled toast into the dog's mouth. Teresa sorts through bundles of clothes littered across the floor and pulls out 2 men's suits.
These are the dry cleaners, Mrs.
Oh no, Maisie. No, those jumpers and dresses are for... No, so they're for Maisie. And the jumpers and dresses too.
But the mister will have a connection. But there's plenty of life left in these clothes. Are you sure you can spare them?
Oh, Teresa, darling. Stop getting your knickers in a twist. He won't even notice. You know, he would wear the same 2 suits all year round if I let him have his own way. He didn't even believe in underwear before he met me.
Jesus, Mrs. Leah, stop.
Frankly, I don't know why my mother let me marry into such a family.
Not much she can do about it now from where she's at. Anyway, he's not the worst.
No, I suppose not. Now, come on. Let's get a big bundle ready for Maisie. She has 12 children. 12.
You have a heart of gold, you know that, Mrs.
The doorbell rings.
Maisie.
A traveller stands on the doorstep. 3 bedraggled little girls cower behind her.
Can you spare us any change?
I can do much better than that, Maisie. Teresa, bring the clothes out, please.
Teresa hands her 3 bags.
Oh, thanks, Mum. You're a saint, you are. I'll be sending a prayer for you tonight.
Samuel's factory. Golden Sons. Day. Samuel walks through a bustling factory floor with
Mangus.
his bulldog of a floor manager.
How's the order book looking there, Mangus?
Not much there in the minute.
Samuel's office, moments later.
Kevin.
His young sales manager stands uneasily in the doorway.
You wanted to see me, Mr. Goldstein.
Kevin, I had a word with Mangus down there, and the order book is practically empty. I can't imagine what you and your crew have been up to these past few weeks.
With all due respect, Mr. Goldstein.
Now, please spare me the platitudes, Kevin. Your sales team is abysmal. They couldn't close a deal if their life depended on it. And what's happening with the O'Callaghan's down in Cork? Any progress?
I've tried, but there's no getting through to him.
Well, what exactly have you tried?
Well,
You've what? Have you phoned the man?
he won't take my calls.
So, have you gone down and visited him in person?
I didn't think there was any point, as he won't take my calls.
I see. You didn't see the point. So have you written to him? Have you sent him samples?
I'm telling you, he won't budge. Stubborn as an old goat, that fella.
Here, hand over everything you have on it.
Kevin hands over the file. Samuel leafs through it.
Stubborn. I'll show him stubborn.
The children's school, Stratford College, same afternoon. Roisin, Ben and their friends gather by the school gate. Roisin takes Ben's hand to cross the street.
Over here! Darlings, over here!
Isabel, the epitome of cool, in sunglasses, hipster pants and pointy leather boots, stands beside her red racing Mini.
Mummy, I didn't know you were coming.
Yeah, I thought we were walking home.
Well, not any longer. We're going on a little adventure to Dublin.
Your mother drives a racer.
Goes 100 miles an hour.
That is so cool.
See you tomorrow, Esther.
Bye, Roisin.
Esther unenthusiastically slips into her mother's old Morris Minor, parked behind Isabel's Mini.
Darling, about this morning, yeah? You know what I'm like before my coffee, don't you?
It's okay, Mummy. I know. Dunleary Pier, late afternoon. Isabel, Roisin and Ben, their faces smeared with ice cream, run along the sand after Goldie. Isabel picks up a branch, throws it into the water. Goldie swims in after it. The children squeal with delight. O'Callaghan's shop, Cork, the same day. Samuel glances up at the large overhead awning. O'Callaghan's fine furnishings since 1852. The proprietor,
Mr. O'Callaghan?
overweight, in a dated suit, straightens merchandise behind the counter.
I'm Samuel Goldstein from Gold & Sons, Dublin. I've come down to pay you a personal visit.
Could have saved yourself the trouble. I've told your man Kevin there that we have no call for what ye have to offer.
Samuel walks over to a display bed, bounces up and down, feels under the cover and squeezes the mattress.
Mr. O'Callaghan, if I may be so bold, what you have here is plain old-fashioned lumpy filler. We are the first in the country with the latest technology in foam mattresses. The shops, hotels, hospitals, they're all ordering it. It's the wave of the future. Surely you don't want to be left behind.
I wouldn't care if the Taoiseach himself was sleeping on one of your new fandangled mattresses. Or let me put it to another way for you, Mr. Goldman. I'm a Cork man, through and through, and we're not in the habit of doing business with ye people. Am I making myself clear?
Samuel responds in fluent Gaelic.
Ragoon the water, Egorkic, Sabreen, Nigel, August Hocht. We are Irish, through and through, as you put it yourself. I would expect a businessman of your calibre to welcome the opportunity to turn a profit no matter who was offering it to you. What's more, I'll extend an additional 20% discount on your first order. What do you say?
I'd say you just seemed yourself a deal, boy.
Roisin's bedroom, night. Samuel slips in and surveys a sleeping Roisin. He leaves a new copy of Black Beauty on her nightstand. Ben's nursery. Samuel watches his son sleeping and deposits a large picture book at the end of his bed. Master bedroom. Isabel is propped up in bed reading Breakfast at Tiffany's. Goldie stretched out lengthwise beside her.
Had a very good result today, is he? We nailed the O'Callaghan order, finally.
Oh, that's good.
Have you seen my blue suit? The one with the pinstripe.
Hmm?
My blue suit.
I gave it to Maisie,
Who's Maisie?
the traveller. The same woman that's been coming around every month for the last 3 years.
It's a wonder she doesn't come more often if that's the kind of haul she gets. Do you have any idea how hard I have to work to buy a suit like that?
You really think I look like Audrey Hepburn?
What?
Audrey Hepburn, the actress, you used to tell me you looked like her.
What has that got to do with my suit?
Oh, forget the suit, you needed a new one anyway.
Just like that. Oh, it's so easy for you. Actually, I think you're prettier than she is.
Sitting room, next day. Roisin is dressed up in a bowler hat, oversized man's suit, bow tie, and her father's dress shoes.
And that's not another one of my suits, is it?
Oh, never mind, hold on. Never mind, dear. Off you go. There we go. You look just like Charlie Chaplin. All you need is a walk, and I'll show you. Here we go. Like this. Come on. Here we go.
I don't want to. I look stupid. Everyone else is going as Queen Esther.
And that's exactly why you'll win. You'll be the only Charlie Chaplin there.
What is a Purim party?
And what's a Purim party?
The Jewish party?
A fancy dress party. Come on. That's it. A bit of a walk. Come on, around.
Stratford College, morning. Isabel's racing mini pulls up outside the school gates.
I don't want to go in. They'll all laugh at me.
Don't be ridiculous. Darling, you look fantastic.
I don't look fantastic. I look like an old man.
Esther and two two other girls pass the car, resplendent in their Queen Esther gowns. They glance through the window and convulse in laughter.
But don't you give those girls another thought. They won't be laughing in a few hours, I can assure you.
School auditorium. Parents are seated in rows. Hava Megillah blasts from the speakers. The head teacher,
Mrs. Rado.
stands on stage, jotting notes as the children file past. There are Queen Esthers of every size, shape, and hue, followed by a group of boys dressed as Haman or Mordecai.
That's it! Come on! Everybody needs to see, darling, quickly! Come back again. Look happier. Happier.
Hag Sameach. Parents, again this year we had a splendid brim party. As always, a wonderful selection of costumes. We had many beautiful Queen Esthers. We had Hamans. Oh. And we have the wise Mordecai. But of course, there can only be one winner. This year, the best costume prize goes to Charlie Chaplin.
Golden Sons Factory. Isabel and Roisin troop through the factory floor to the amazement of Mangus and his workers. Roisin carries a gold trophy in the shape of Queen Esther.
Afternoon, Mrs. Goldstein. Is that Charlie Chaplin you have with you?
Oh, it is indeed Mangus. First prize at the costume party today. Is Mr. Sammy in?
Yeah, go up here, Lady Trill.
Samuel's office.
I won, Daddy! I won first prize!
You did. Congratulations, pet. What did you win?
I won an Esther.
An Esther. I see. That's lovely.
Oh, she was marvellous, Sammy. You should have seen those girls and their mummies. The shock on their faces.
Oh, I'm sure I'll hear all about it in Shul tomorrow.
Lennox Street Synagogue. Next morning. Samuel, Isabel, Roisin and Ben enter a small doorway. A blue Star of David hangs overhead. They climb a dark, ramshackle staircase. Isabel pulls her white linen coat close to avoid contact with the walls.
I swear I take my life into my hands every time I come into this godforsaken place.
Shh, Izzy. They'll hear you.
What can they hear? They're all half dead.
The synagogue, a former bedroom, is packed with worn wooden benches. A lopsided ark leans against the back wall. Men in discoloured prayer shawls rock back and forth. Samuel and Ben join Chaim in the front row. Isabel and Roisin slip behind the mechitza, a dirty white curtain separating the men from the women, and take their seat in front of Rachel,
Mrs. Feinberg.
an old-world Jewess in surgical stockings and a lopsided wig, turns from her prayer.
Good Shabbos, Isabel.
Likewise, Mrs. Feinberg. Mrs. Feinberg.
I knew your mother, Sophie. What a wonderful woman.
Rachel and Chaim's house. Samuel's brother,
Nathan,
His English wife,
Gladys.
and their daughter,
Sadie.
sit across from Samuel, Isabel, and Roisin. Ben is perched awkwardly on Rochel's lap. Chaim gulps a glass of lemon tea, Stettel style, picking up sugar cubes, placing them in his mouth, and slurping the liquid through them.
Marka?
The maid launches into action, picking up the lesser soiled paper napkins, dusting them off, folding them, and tucking them into the sideboard for next
You
use.
know what I say? There's not found that. Isn't that bad, Kinder?
Chaim's hearing aid starts a high-pitched whining.
Dad, your hearing aid is acting up.
What's that? Speak up.
He said your hearing aid. It's making an awful racket. You need a new one.
What's wrong with this one? It's only 7 years old. Good as new.
It's not working. That's what's wrong with it.
The phone rings.
Mirka, answer the phone quick. Could be important.
It's Teresa. It's for Mrs. Isabel.
What's the matter, Isabel? Who's dying?
Why does someone always have to be dying in this family?
Well, just look at her. What is it, Isabel? No. It's Goldie. Goldie who? My dog. Baruch Hashem, that Goldie. I thought it was something important.
Ma.
Always so much fuss over a dog.
Ma! Come on, children. Get your coats.
Fern Hills, garden, night. Samuel, Isabel, Roisin, and Ben, formally dressed, stand solemnly in front of a raised mound of earth. Samuel, wearing a yarmulke, rifles through a Hebrew prayer book.
Isn't there something in there for a dog?
I can't find anything.
Can't we just say Kaddish?
I don't suppose it would do any harm. Ishkadal, Ishkadal, Shimei Rabba.
Fern Hills, a few evenings later. Isabel sits at her dressing table in her nightgown, pulling absently on a cigarette. Propped in the corner is a family photo in which she holds a beautiful, dark-haired little girl in her lap. Samuel beside them carries baby Roisin. In the kitchen, Teresa serves dinner. Roisin and Ben are unusually quiet.
Have you called Isabel down?
I have, Mr. Goldstein. I'm up to calling her twice now.
It's just like with Emma.
Who's Emma, Daddy?
She was our older sister. She died before you were born.
Such a tragedy. A cherub, an angel child she was.
Hush!
Sure, Mr. Ray will be arriving in a few days. That'll soon cheer the missus up.
I hope it does.
Isabel's father's flat, a few mornings later. Resolutely British, dashing and refined, is sitting on a couch in a small flat. He is dressed in a bowler hat and cashmere coat. Although blind since his 30s, he wears glasses and acts as if fully sighted.
Mrs. May.
His long-serving housekeeper puts on her hat and coat.
I've enjoyed every minute of the last 12 years working for you, Mr. Jacobs. You're a gentleman and a scholar, what your people call a mensch. I'm so sorry to be leaving you now, especially as you've not been feeling well. But you need more care than I can give you.
And there's no need to fret, Mrs. May. I couldn't have asked for more.
He fishes in his pocket, extracts an envelope, and extends it to Mrs. May.
This is for you, Mrs. May. A small token of appreciation for all the years of service.
You're too kind, Mr. Jacobs. Too kind.
The doorbell rings.
Henry.
Pop's English chauffeur appears in full uniform.
Morning, Gav.
All set? Ready for the big trip?
Ready as I'll ever be, Henry.
In the doorway, Pop stalls, raises his hand to the mezuzah affixed to the top right corner. He traces its etched Hebrew lettering, then draws his fingers to his mouth and kisses them. Roisin's bedroom, same time. Isabel and Teresa make up a double bed, set up a small pull-out bed beside it, lay out towels and toiletries at the sink.
Why do I have to share my room?
Because, Roisin, your Pop is not well. You know he's coming to stay with us until he gets better.
Yeah, but why my room?
Well, where else? In the back? Oh, that's right. For your grandfather in a box room, and you keep this big one to yourself. Besides, Teresa sleeps in the back room when she stays over. And Pop can't be alone, you know that.
But why do I have to sleep on the fold-out? It's too small for me.
Or would you rather the floor? Look, it's not my fault that you're such a large child.
Sitting room. A little while later, Isabel peers anxiously out the window. The Rolls Royce pulls up. Henry opens the back door. 2 feet, clad in beautifully polished black leather shoes, emerge, followed by glimpses of a camel-haired coat, and finally, Pop himself.
Oh, is it? We're going to take very good care of you, Pop.
I know you will, darling.
You'll be sharing Roisin's room. She's very generously given up her bed.
Oh, it's very kind of you.
I have to sleep on the floor.
Oh, she was delighted to do it. Come on, Ben. Come on. Say hello to your grandpa.
And, who do you look like, Ben? Your mummy or your daddy?
They look like me.
Good answer, young man.
Isabel and Roisin begin to unpack Pop's porcelain figures, silver cutlery, and cake trays.
Pop sure has a lot of old junk.
And you be very careful with that old junk. It's irreplaceable.
Roisin's bedroom. Isabel guides Pop around the room. She leads him to the wardrobe, steering his hands to his ties, cufflinks, tie pins, shirts, all in their appropriate compartments, then over to the bed.
There's no trouble having you here. You know that, don't you, Papa?
I know that, darling. It's just that since Nana died, I'm used to living on my own. You know, doing things for myself.
I know. But I want to take care of you. What have you done?
I didn't mean to. It was an accident. It just fell.
You stupid... Stupid girl! That was Nana Sophie's favourite dish. Fine way to welcome your grandfather. Now you go right upstairs now and tell him you are sorry.
Is that you, Roisin?
How did you know?
I heard your footsteps. Don't fret about the dish, darling. Things don't mean nearly as much as they once did. I've had everything and lost everything, and gotten it all back again.
But you can't get the dish back. It's broken.
I have it all stored in here. And I keep Nana Sophie in here.
Dining room that night. Pop, Roisin and Ben are seated at the Shabbos table, all dressed up. The challah is covered with an embroidered silk cloth. The silver wine goblet filled, the chopped liver, pickles and gefilte fish laid out on Pop's fancy wares.
I can't imagine where she could have gone. Doesn't she know we have to light the candles before sundown? Oh, what kind of example is she setting for the children?
Setting examples was never Isabel's strong suit.
Be that as it may, we can't wait a minute longer. Roisin, go ahead and light the Shabbos candles. There's a good girl.
Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Idishanu B'mitzvotav Lehedenik Nishel Shabbat.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Papa. I'm in trouble, am I? I just couldn't resist. I bought you all such lovely gifts.
Well, Shabbos is definitely meant to be a special occasion. We'll best leave the gifts until after dinner.
Samuel fills the Kiddush cup with wine.
May we begin?
Oh, please don't let me keep you waiting.
Roisin's bedroom, night. Pop sits on the bed in his paisley silk pyjamas. He feels for the bottle of Buckfast wine on his nightstand and pours himself a glass. He picks up a pack of Players and lights a cigarette.
How do you know where things are?
Well, I feel my way around.
When did you go blind, Pop?
Ah, now that's a long story.
I love the story.
Begin fantasy. Open field. Day. A younger Pop stands in front of a group of soldiers practicing drills.
Yes, it was during the war. I was a drill sergeant in the British Army. And just after my 32nd birthday, I started to lose my sight, first at the edges of my eyes.
Rows of soldiers perform drills. The edges of the frame become blurry, dreamlike.
What I could see grew smaller and smaller.
The frame shrinks to a sliver, a dozen soldiers becoming a solitary soldier.
But I continued teaching the drills from memory.
Younger Pop stands at attention in front of his soldiers.
Slow, ups, squad will retire, don't. Look at me, Wilkins, look to your front. Squad will retire, how about, turn.
The soldiers turn. Roisin, making up the rear, turns with them.
By the left, quick, march left, 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 right, left.
The soldiers march. Roisin appears behind them and falls into line, vigorously stomping her feet and pumping her arms. End fantasy.
And that's a story for another day. Now it's time to sleep, young lady. Good night, my beautiful bandit.
Good night, Pop.
From across the hallway, Pop catches the sounds of Isabel and Samuel arguing. Sitting room, next morning. Pop, dressed for shul, waits for Henry. Roisin, in a brand new hat and coat, clutches a prayer book.
You sure they'll be okay? She's never gone out with him alone.
Oh, for Christ's sake, Samuel. They're going 3 miles down the road to the synagogue, not to climb Kilimanjaro. Stop panicking.
That'll be Henry now.
Was it the footsteps, Pop?
You're a very bright girl, you know that.
Ready to go?
Ah, it's fine, Henry. My granddaughter has this one. Now, here, Rosaline. Take my arm. At the other, yes, just like that. Now, when I reach a curve or a crossing, I want you to press once for up and twice for down. Let's try. That's right, yes.
Inside the moving Rolls Royce.
Synagogue coming up on your left, Gav?
No, another 40 feet or so, Henry. Just heard the boats along the canal, so we're not quite there yet.
Those ears of yours have X-ray vision.
Practice, Henry. Years of practice.
Pop, you know how you called me a beautiful bandit last night?
Yes, darling, of course.
Well, how do you know I'm beautiful if you can't see me?
I don't need to see with my eyes to know that you are beautiful.
Adelaide Road Synagogue. Roisin gazes in awe at the wood-beamed ceilings, stained glass windows, and row upon row of men covered in prayer shawls.
And now, my seat is at the front, right behind the bimmer. Do you think you could need me there?
I think so. But aren't I supposed to be upstairs with the women?
Nobody will mind if you stay downstairs. Besides, without you, how would I find my place in the sit-up?
Master bedroom, afternoon. Isabel stares at her reflection in her dressing table mirror. A makeup case and a sheet of canvas are laid out in front of her. Dipping her fingers into the makeup, then scraping them across the canvas, she recreates an astonishing likeness in her own image.
Are you busy, darling?
Oh, no, not really. I was painting.
Painting. What?
Just a silly self-portrait. Come, I'll show you.
Ah, yes. You were always such a creature. humiliated, Charlotte. You must have gotten that from your mother.
No, I miss her, Papa.
I know, darling. I miss her too. You remind me so much of her. Izzy?
Yes.
How are you? Really?
Yes. What do you mean?
Are you happy?
Everything's okay. I'm just highly strung. Isn't that what you always say?
Isabel, I know you. I see you. I can feel when things are not right.
Yes, well, as I told you, Papa, everything's fine.
You see,
All right. You want to know? I feel like I'm in a black hole. I think wrong things, bad things. I hate Sammy and his old suits. I hate Chaim and his stupid hearing aid, that dirty synagogue. Rochel, her milk like her Fleischig, her kosher this, her kosher that. I hate my hair, I hate my clothes, my voice. I hate it all.
it's okay, Izzy. It's okay.
You know, it's not okay. No, it's not okay. I'm a bad person. I'm an awful mother.
Izzy, you are kind and warm and funny and full of life. I wish you could see what I see.
You don't see everything, Papa. You don't know. Emma was my fault.
Emma, how do you mean, darling?
She cried so much. She wouldn't stop. And I...
Izzy, Emma was very ill. She had pneumonia.
But if I hadn't hit her, she wouldn't have been...
That, Izzy, don't talk to yourself. You did the very best you could. Emma knows you love her.
Go, you go and rest.
I can sit with you for a little while if you like.
Yes, no, I'll be fine. Really, I will.
You know, you can talk to me any time, don't you? Isabel, there's nothing you could ever say or do that would make me love you any less. You understand that?
I don't know what I'd do without you.
Master bedroom that evening. Isabel sits on the bed in her bra and panties, holding the family photo in her lap.
Isabel? You're not dressed.
I can't stop thinking about it. And what if I lose property?
Come now, Izzy. Don't upset yourself. Ed is doing fine. Let's get ready for the dance. You'll show off your new gown.
You know, I don't feel like sitting around with a bunch of old fuddy-duddies.
But Izzy, you can't go on my own.
All they do is talk about pillows and mattresses.
But the whole industry will be there.
You're always so concerned about how things look. You know, how about how I feel?
Of course I care about how you feel. How about this? I'll take you all to Malahide this next weekend. Now, 2 whole days. No business calls, no dictaphone. Just me, you, the children, and the fresh air will do wonders for Pop. What about that?
Sitting room, night. Pop feeds Ben with a spoon but misses his mouth.
You'll be all right for a few hours, won't you, Papa?
Well, everything's under control here. No need to worry.
I can see that. Ben, come here and let me wipe your face. You look like you've dipped your head in a feeding trough.
That was Pop's fault. Couldn't find my mouth.
We'll be fine. O'Sheen can take care of us. Now really, what's the worst that can happen? You two go off and have yourself a good time.
Hotel ballroom, night. The annual Furniture Manufacturers Dinner Dance is in full swing. A show band plays while couples jive across the floor. Samuel and Isabel sit with a group at a large table. A waiter approaches with champagne. Isabel knocks hers back and immediately signals for another.
Go easy on the bubbly now. No point in overdoing it.
The band launch into a Celtic version of The Twist.
Ah, Samuel. I've been meaning to come over all evening. And this must be your beautiful wife.
Tom, Riley, isn't it? From Navan.
Yeah, that's the one. Navan Antique Furnishings.
Isabel Goldstein.
My eyes adored you begins to play.
Mayor?
Now there's the man I've been looking for.
It's good to see you, Seamus. Good to see you.
Well, Mayor?
I have to tell you, those mattresses you have to send down have flown off the floor like hotcakes they've gone.
That's very good news indeed. Seamus, very good news.
I was wondering now, if you were to increase the orders by, say, 20%, what's the best you could do for me?
20%?
Well, what do you say? It's business I'm offering you.
Sorry, Seamus. Of course, we'll work up the figures.
Samuel's green Mercedes outside Fern Hills a few days later.
No, come on, you promised. No phone calls, no files, no work. And I hope you left that bloody dictaphone at home. It's like an appendage always attached to your wrist.
I'm here, aren't I?
Can we go swimming, Daddy?
We'll see, Ben, we'll see. I'm not a great fan of the water. I went out in a boat once and a group of boys almost drowned, and I've steered clear of it ever since.
Oh, well, that's a fine thing to tell your son, scare him half to death. No point in asking your father about anything about nature, Ben. His idea of camping out is setting up in a nice hotel lobby.
Let's lighten the mood, shall we? We're on holiday.
He switches on the radio to Cliff Richard's We're All Going on a Summer Holiday.
We're all going on a summer holiday.
Louder!
We're working for a
week or two.
Fun and laughter on our
Summer holiday.
Da-da-da-da, me and you. For a week or two.
Manahide Hotel lobby.
Oh! Sammy, look! Riding on the beach. Come on, let's book now.
There's no rush.
What do you mean there's no rush? You'll be back at the office before we know it. What's there to wait for?
Well, I was thinking maybe I could get a lesson first.
What you do is get on the horse, you dig your heels in, and you let them know who's boss. That's all there is to it.
Easy for you to say.
Oh, Sammy, please, promise.
All right, but I'm warning you. If I get injured, there'll be no one left to take care of things.
What can possibly happen on the beach?
Mine, oh mine, lucky, lightning will strike.
Beach, Manahide, later. The wind picks up, sand flies. Isabel's horse breaks into a gallop. Samuel's horse follows suit, veering towards the water and plunging in.
Izzy, I told you I didn't like the water. I'm gonna drown. You know I can't swim.
Well, now would be a bloody good time to learn!
Manahide Hotel, laneway. Isabel heads back to the hotel astride her horse. Samuel follows, lopsided in the saddle, soaked to the skin. As they approach the paddock, Isabel notices the rod-straight back of a man in exquisite riding gear, cantering effortlessly round the ring.
Ah, it's you, Isabel. What a lovely surprise. And yourself, Sam.
Hello, Riley.
A wonderful day for a ride, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely fantastic. We've just come from the beach.
Go for a swim on a horse.
I sing over. Maybe I'll catch you at dinner.
Maybe.
Hotel reception.
Mrs. Goldstein, I have something for you.
Oh, really? What is it?
One of the guests asked me to hand this envelope to you.
To me? What you get?
He asked me not to say, just that I should give it to you when I saw you.
Fern Hill's sitting room, a few evenings later.
I don't see why it has to be tonight. She's a child, for God's sake. She's got school in the morning.
I know that. Don't worry, you won't be late.
I don't like it one bit.
We're still going, aren't we, Mummy? Please, please say yes, Daddy. It's a girl.
Now, I know all about your girls' night out. Okay, just this once, but don't forget, no later than 10.
Inside Isabel's racing mini.
I don't think anyone else in my class is allowed to go out this late on a school night.
Well, they don't have me for a mummy now, do they?
Intercontinental Hotel Restaurant, a while later. An attentive waiter delivers an order of prawns for Isabel and chicken for Roisin.
That's chicken.
It's not kosher. Daddy would have never let me eat it.
And that's exactly why we haven't it. He's not here, is he? And it tastes delicious, darling.
Well, hello there, ladies. What a lovely surprise. We seem to be bumping into each other everywhere.
Yes, it does seem so. Well, you remember Tom, darling, don't you, from Malahide Riding Stable?
Yeah.
Well, now, miss, what can we get here, huh?
I don't know.
I've got just the drink for you. A pussyfoot.
Fuzzy.
It's a very sophisticated drink. Pink, orange, gold. Like a beautiful sunset. Just like you. You're grown up now. Roshi? I mean, you can wait here a little while on your own, can't you?
Yes, I'll be fine.
We won't be a jiffy. Just want to show your mother a new range of antique furnishings we put in the hallways upstairs.
1 hour later. The clock above the bar points to 10:10. The clock above the bar points to 10:50. The clock above the bar points to 11:10.
Come on, quickly.
Inside the racing mini. Isabel's car pulls into the driveway.
It's almost midnight! But what kept you so long?
Dinner ran long.
Good night. I'm going to go up to bed.
All of a sudden you're in such a rush to go to bed. You come in here this minute. But what kept you so long?
I told you, dinner ran long. The restaurant was packed. We had the most marvellous evening, didn't we, darling?
Yes, Mummy, we did.
I see. Dinner ran long. What did you have, Roisin?
Fish? We had fish, like always, Daddy.
I see, fish. What kind of fish did you have?
Trout.
Well, which was it? Trout or sole?
It was sole, Daddy. I got mixed up.
I see. And who did you have this sole with?
With Mummy, of course.
Sammy, what is this? An interrogation?
Bloody right, this is an interrogation. I've been phoning the hotel for over an hour and nobody could find you.
Well, we obviously weren't looking very hard.
Did you go anywhere else? Answer me!
The lobby for a pussyfoot.
For a pussy what?
You know, the sophisticated drink with all colours.
Roisin, if you're lying to me, I swear
You're what, Sammy? You're what? What will you do? Go on, Roisin, up to bed. Like your father said, it's late.
Roisin's bedroom at night. Roisin changes into her nightdress as quietly as possible.
Do you remember your Nana Sophie?
Not really. The only thing I remember is sitting on her lap, eating a sausage.
That sounds like my Sophie, never too far from a plate of food. We were very different, your Nana and me, you know. I loved horses, greyhounds, travelling, clothes, business. Your Nana loved Jewish food, Jewish prayer, fancy furniture and mixed stoves. And bridge. But you know why our marriage worked?
No?
In every successful marriage, one person takes, the other gives.
Well, who gave? You or Nana?
I gave, your Nana took. And your mother is just like her mother. And you know something else, darling? There are always three sides to a story. Your side, my side, and the truth. Remember that.
Roisin is awakened by Pop's hacking cough. She hands him a tissue, which instantly fills with blood.
Mummy! Daddy! Come quick! Pop's sick!
Dr. Robinson, the kindly Jewish family doctor, stands by the front door.
I'm sorry I don't have better news for you. I've been his doctor for a long time. We've come through some scrapes, Abe and I. It's not looking good. The cancer may have spread to his lungs. He might rally for a while, but you have to prepare yourselves. It won't be long now.
We'll take good care of Missy. He'll have everything he needs.
He was just saying yesterday how much better he felt. Oh, we can't let him know. We can't.
How are you feeling, Pop?
Oh, much improved. That medicine worked wonders.
Would you like some water?
No, darling, I've had enough to sink a ship this evening.
Can I get you your nightcap?
No, thank you. No, I had a coughing attack, that's all. I'm better now. No need to turn into Florence Nightingale.
I know, Pop. You'll call me if you need anything, won't you?
Yes, Miss Florence, I will.
Master bedroom, several evenings later. Isabel sits on her bed.
Are you okay?
Yes, I'm just a little sad today. Sit with me for a minute. Very precious to me, you know that.
I love you, Mummy. You're hurting me, Mummy.
Too big for hugs now, huh? How is
Stop, Mummy, stop, Mummy, please! A wet stain appears on Roisin's pants and leaks onto the satin eiderdown. Roisin looks down at the stain in shame. Greystones Beach, night. Isabel steps over the stones in the darkness, a bucket in her hand. Every so often she stoops to pick up a pebble and drops it into the bucket with a loud plop. Jewish cemetery. Isabel, carrying her bucket of stones and a cloth, approaches the entrance and knocks loudly. When no one answers, she knocks again and then again. Finally, the door swings open and
Scrooge!
The caretaker tumbles out and shines a torch in her face.
What's all the racket about?
I want to visit my daughter.
At this hour you must be joking.
But every time I come, it's closed.
Then you should have banged loud. I'm always down the back. Them Jews don't pay me enough to stay up here day and night. He got back tomorrow.
Mister.
All right then. I suppose. If we need this flashlight.
Emma's grave. Isabel sits on the gravel beside Emma's gravestone. She polishes it over and over with her club, then lays a row of small pebbles along its edges, lining them up one by one. She traces the etched lettering with her fingers and reads, "Here lies Emma Goldstein, 1952 to 1956. Beloved daughter, sister, granddaughter." Rochel and Chaim's house, St. Eaton.
I don't know what to do, Nathan. She just hasn't been right since she got the news about Abe. She's taken to disappearing for hours at a time.
So where is she now?
That's the thing. I don't know. I'm worried sick over her.
Poor Samuel. Always something to think about.
I'm sure she's fine. Maybe she just needs to clear her head.
The phone rings. Gladys answers, then hands it to Samuel.
I've got to go.
What do you mean you've got to go? We haven't even had the luxury of putting your face slipping off to. No wonder your doctor says you have to watch your
I'll
arm.
explain later, Ma.
Go, Sammy, go. We'll bring the children home.
Rathgar Inn Hotel.
Mr. Goldstein, I'm sorry for calling you out on a night like this, but I just didn't know what else to do.
What's happening, Ma? Is Mrs. Goldstein okay?
Well, nothing untoward has befallen her, if you know what I mean.
No, I don't know what you mean.
It's just that it's a rather delicate matter.
Get to the point, Niall.
It would appear Mrs. Goldstein checked in earlier this evening, and some of the guests rang down shortly afterwards to say that she was, how should I put this? Well, wandering through the hallways in a compromised position.
What do you mean, compromised?
I'll take you up to her now, and you can see for yourself. And coax her back into her room. Mrs. Goldstein, may we come in? Your husband is here.
Haven't you got keys? Open the bloody door. Open it.
Isabel sits on the bed, naked. Fern Hills.
It's going to be all right, darling. Everything's going to be okay. How about a cup of coffee? Yes. Yes, well, I'll go down and make you a cup of coffee. That always makes you feel better, doesn't it?
Kitchen.
What's wrong with Maddie? She'll be grand after a few days rest is all. It's just a little setback.
Roshan, come here for a minute. I want you to do something for me. I want you to go up to the room and make sure there are no sharp objects lying about.
Why?
Just for once, could you do as I asked without asking 100 questions, please?
Roisin retrieves a razor from the sink, then spots a nail scissors on the dressing table.
It's all right, Roisin, darling. I've no intention of killing myself.
Later.
You'll come back anyway.
Of course not, Pet. It's only for a few weeks, just until you're back on your feet.
Samuel's green Mercedes. Fern Hills, kitchen, day.
The days of the room. Are you coping?
Looking to see Mrs. Goldstein. Mr. Goldstein's not back yet.
Oh, face me. What service he has, poor Samuel. Here, crying. I don't stand there like a tree. Put the food down. and the kinder, they need good culture food. Theresa, you know, right? The joint is fleshy, right? And that goes on a meaty plate. And the pudding is milky, and that goes on a milk.
I know all about milky inflation, Mrs. Goldstein, don't you worry.
Look, Theresa, the kinder, Samuel, how are they?
As well as expected, under the circumstances.
And Isabel, what news?
But they're taking very good care of her, ma'am.
You a treasure to the family. Theresa, la real treasure.
Thanks, Mrs. Goldstein. They're wonderful to me.
And time and I, the old wish and pray that all will be well. Yes?
Dundrum mental tone.
No, I don't want pills! I want to go home! No, I want my mama! No, Mrs. Goldstein. Remember what the doctor said.
So you take your pills now. And when you're feeling all better, you'll be able to go back to your family.
They force pills into her mouth. Isabel is strapped to the bed. Electrodes are taped to her head. As the shocks race through her, her body convulses. A subdued and heavily sedated Isabel sits among a group of patients. She hand weaves a small stool. Roisin's bedroom, night.
Don't you want a story tonight, darling?
Okay.
Did you know that I invented a radio?
A radio?
Yes, a radio. Inside a matchbox.
Inside a matchbox? How?
Begin fantasy. Wartime London. Flat. Day. A well-appointed flat in wartime London. The sounds of sirens and bombs dropping pierce the air. The windows are blacked out. Younger Pop is hunched over a work table, involved in the intricate business of constructing a radio inside a matchbox.
It was a top-secret operation. I worked on it for months, late at night in the flat, when the bombs were dropping all around us. By pure accident, I had discovered a special magnetic strip and made a transmission device out of it.
Roisin appears in the frame and looks on with intense curiosity.
We used to pass messages to each other, right under the Germans' noses. Of course, they thought we were just lighting our cigarettes.
Younger Pop sits at a table in a wartime London restaurant, a trilby hat perched on his head. He languidly lights a cigarette and blows out smoke, then holds the matchbox close to his mouth. His mouth forms words silently. A beautiful, Garbo-esque woman on the other side of the cafe picks up a similar matchbox and listens, then lights a cigarette. Roisin watches this exchange in awe from a nearby table.
So you were a spy?
Oh no, nothing so glamorous as that. Let's just say I did my bit for the war effort. You know, I remember the last time your mummy had to be sent away.
Where did she go?
Well, during the war it was too dangerous in London. What with the bombs falling all the time. Your mummy was so frightened, hiding behind the cupboard at the slightest sound. There was this family in Bournemouth by the coast. We sent her off on the train, and she stayed with them until the war was over.
And what happened when Mammy came back?
Well, maybe it was a sea air, or maybe the rest. But she came back so happy, so healthy.
I hope that happens again.
I do too, darling.
Sitting room, a few days later.
So where could they be? What's taking so long? Maybe they had an accident?
Don't be ridiculous, Raquel. Why would they have an accident? Sammy's a very careful driver.
It's not him I'm worried about. It's all the other Meshuggahs on the road.
Stop, you'll upset the children.
Here now.
Where? I don't see anybody.
The car just pulled into the driveway.
The missus is home. Now remember, children, on your best behaviour.
Driveway. Samuel helps Isabel out of the car and takes her small overnight bag, then leads her towards the house. Isabel is resplendent in a lemon-coloured suit, hat and gloves to match. In her arms she clutches two small hand-woven stools.
It's good to have you back, darling. We missed you.
Me too.
Look, Izzy. Ma and Dad came to welcome her home.
Oh, yes, it's very kind. Thank you.
You look very well, Isabel. What a lovely new outfit.
Yes, Abby surprised me this morning. I'm afraid my makeup may be a bit askew.
Nobody would ever know the difference. Always the looker.
It's great to have you back, Mrs. The house is like a morgue without you. What can I get for you?
A Rothmans and a stiff vodka would go down a treat.
Right up, Mrs.
Already with the cigarettes. Didn't the doctor give instructions she should follow?
Ah, please. She's very sensitive at the moment.
Such a fragile flower you married.
I know, Ma. She's not a Goldstein. You look at the spread Teresa's put on for you. All your favourite dishes.
Yes, it's wonderful.
Well, all the women at the Bridesmaid Society, they send their well wishes. And the ladies at the shore, they're asking after you and the family. They all want to know you're well.
It's good to have you home, Pat.
Master bedroom. Night.
Sonny,
What is he?
I didn't like being away.
I know. But you're home now.
I was frightened. They did things to me. I was frightened, Sonny.
Don't upset yourself. It's all in the past now. You must be tired. Come on to bed now.
A few nights later.
Must you go to Germany this week, Sonny? It seems so sudden.
It's not sudden at all, Izzy. You know I was supposed to meet Herr Kroner in Berlin last month, but it didn't work out like...
Oh, so it's my fault, yes?
I'm not saying it's your fault. It's just that I can't put him off any longer. It's only for a few days, and Teresa can stay over. Ma and Dad are always a phone call away.
Oh, great. The last time your mother visited, she buried 3 of Papa's silver meat knives in the garden, convinced I'd use them for fish. We'll never find them now.
I know the timing's not great, but what else am I supposed to do? You know, these trips, all the hours I work, it's for you. It's all for you.
It's not for me. It's never been for me. It's always been about you. It's how you live with what happened to us.
Isabel, you know I love you very much, don't you?
I know, son.
You're looking ravishing tonight, Isabel. Do you know that?
Golden Spoon Restaurant. Evening.
It's all very kind of you to say so.
Anything to drink, sir?
We'll have the Moe. Nothing but the best for this lady.
Good choice.
Please, don't go to such expense on my account.
Listen here, Isabel. You're worth every penny. It takes a certain kind of man to appreciate a woman like you.
Stop, Riley.
You need to wine and dine and indulge and... Why, if you were mine, you would be the center of my universe. I wouldn't take my eyes off you.
Is that so?
There's not a thing I wouldn't do to make you happy, Isabel. Since the very first moment I laid my eyes on you, I just can't stop thinking about you.
A Jewish couple on the way out at that very moment catches sight of Isabel and Riley kissing. They glance at each other with raised eyebrows. Fern Hills, laneway at back of the house, same time.
Where we going, Roisin? It's getting dark.
I'm an adventure, silly, like the famous 5.
Waterfall. Roisin and Ben stand at the edge of a raging waterfall, glancing down at a 50-foot drop. The sounds of water hitting the rock below fill the night silence. Roisin steps to the ledge and begins to inch her way across.
Come then. Follow me. Look, it's easy.
Roisin, come back. You'll fall in.
You sound just like Daddy. Don't eat too much, you'll get sick. Don't run too fast, you'll exhaust yourself. Don't go in the water, you'll drown.
Mummy told us not to go too near the waterfall. She said it was too dangerous.
Well, Mummy's not here now, is she?
Back, Roisin, please, I'm scared. I'm going home to tell Mummy.
She's not even at home.
Roisin stumbles. Pebbles tumble into the gushing waters below.
Roisin!
I'm sorry, I'm so sorry.
Teresa! I'm so sorry I'm late. I hope I didn't keep you up.
Well, no,
You guys had a marvellous evening.
it's not my place to be telling you, but sure as eggs are eggs, you're playing with fire.
But you're not going to be the one to burn me now, are you, Teresa? Are the children in bed?
I was just on my way off to check on them. They've been quiet as dormice all evening.
It's okay. You go home now. I'll check on them. They're not here.
What do you mean they're not there? Maybe they're with Mr. A.
He's fast asleep. I'm telling you, the children are nowhere to be found. My God, Teresa, maybe something terrible's happened to them. Where could they have gone? At this time of night?
Maybe they're after hiding. Or maybe they've gone down the garden to look for them kittens. Or I didn't hear them leave.
Then, Roisin! Come out here this instant. This is not funny. Where on earth have you been?
You were at the water.
No, we went for a walk.
Get in! A walk? Who on earth? What on earth were you thinking? Who runs off without telling anyone where they're going?
You did.
A welcome party.
Yes, well, the children insisted on waiting on you.
I'm glad to be back. I tell you, we could do with some of those Germans over at Golden Sons. Put me to shame they did. The relentless pace at which they work. Oh, a very worthwhile trip, let me tell you.
I'm very glad, Sammy. I'm really pleased that you went on.
And nothing untoward came of it. See, Izzy, I told you, you'd manage fine without me for a week or so. You took care of your mummy in bed for me, didn't you, Pet?
We took care of each other.
Roisin, my darling.
Yes?
I want to tell you something.
What?
I just want you to know that no matter where I am or what I'm doing or where I am, you and your brother are more important to me than anything in the world. You know that, don't you?
Yes.
Come on, have a good night kiss.
Golden Sons. Solomon's office. Day.
The trip went well, I hear.
Better than expected, Nathan. We beat out 10 companies for that franchise. Do you know what this means? This puts us right at the forefront of the Irish bedding industry.
Good news, Sammy. Very good news indeed. Sammy,
Huh?
there's something I wanted to have a word with you about.
Don't tell me. Has Lyons gone missing again? That man spends more time drying out than he does on the road selling. But mind you, when he's on the wagon, there's no one like him in the game.
It's not Lyons.
What then?
It's Isabel.
What about Isabel?
She was seen at the Golden Spoon, sir. With a man. Sam.
What man?
I don't know what man. The Noyes, they just happened to mention that they happened to be out for their anniversary, and when they were leaving, they just happened to notice her acting all intimate in the corner with a gun. Definitely a gun, they said.
The Noet. Oh, I bet they were thrilled to report back to you. They never liked us, those gaffs. Maybe they were mistaken.
They weren't mistaken, Sam.
Sitting room. Later.
Oh, Sammy, it's you. You surprised me. What are you doing here? Where's Teresa?
I sent her home.
Why? Is she ill? Are you ill? What's happened? Did something happen?
You were seen, Izzy,
What do you mean seen? Where? What are you talking about?
at the Golden Spoon. With a man.
I can't imagine what we're talking
You
about.
were spotted at the Golden Spoon with a man. That's what I'm talking about. Who was it?
No one.
What do you mean, no one?
Nobody important.
What do you mean, nobody important? A man! You're seen with a man! Who is he? Oh, you cannot do this to me, Isabel. I won't stand for it. Tell me!
What good would it do to tell you?
What good will it do? What good do you think it will do? At least I won't be the only one who's going around in the dark. At least when someone comes to me and tells me they've seen my wife in a restaurant with a man, I know who the bloody hell it is. That's what good it will do. I'm your husband. I have a right to know. Tell me.
Stop shouting at me.
Don't make me do something I regret, Isabel. I'm warning you.
Stop, Sammy, you're frightening me.
I do more than frighten you in a minute. Now tell me, who is he? Riley? Nothing. Have I been a bad husband? A bad man? A bad father?
No, you haven't.
Then why?
Sorry, Sammy.
Samuel grabs the nearest object, a glass menorah, and hurls it. It shatters across the floor. Master bedroom, moments later. Isabel pulls clothes out of the drawers and wardrobe and packs them into a case. She picks up the family photo and her favourite silk scarf and shoves them into her coat pocket. Roisin's bedroom.
Is it?
Papa.
Come, sit. Sit. Is it? When you got married and I walked you down the aisle, I asked you a question. Do you remember what I said to you?
Yes.
Well, I'm asking you again. Are you sure you want to go through with this?
I have to. I can't stay.
Izzy, you don't have to.
I do. I can't stay.
Izzy, you can't run. You can't run from your life.
I'll come see you. I promise I swear on Hashim. Just as soon as I'm settled, I'll be back for you and the children. I won't leave you. You can come and stay with me whenever you like, for as long as you like.
Isabel, what have you gone and done?
It's only for a little while. I'll be back as soon as I can. I just have to leave.
You don't have to go, Izzy. You don't have to leave. We'll work through this. We've done it before.
Not like this, I mean.
What do you mean?
It's different.
How? How is it different?
No, I was going to leave. I just didn't think it would be today.
Leave? Go where?
I'll get myself a place. And I sort myself out.
Please don't do this, Izzy. Please.
Where do you go?
Why do you have your suitcase?
Mummy has to go away. It's just for a short while. I won't go very far.
Rochel and Chaim's house. Afternoon.
It's a shunt of a tell you. The climb shame. The way Isabel's making a fool of you, gallivanting about Summerlet. She's making a fool of you, a fool!
Not in front of the children. Please, have some decorum.
Me? Have some decorum? That's a tall one. I tell you, you go to London, you talk to the vet din, you pay them a price, and you get a cat. Then you have your pick of the nice Jewish girls looking for a good catch.
I'm not getting a divorce.
The kinder need a proper mother.
They already have a mother.
You know, Sam, Ma's right. Just by coincidence, Gladys has a cousin over, a widow from Leeds. One daughter, good job, you know, attractive, nice figure. Why don't you do it?
Nathan, I appreciate your concern, but I'm not interested in a widow from Leeds, or Manchester, or Jerusalem for that matter.
What harm can it do? Take your mind off things. Time? Who knows?
I love Isabel. Even if it takes a month, a year, 10 years. I take her back.
Oh, you're right.
Fern Hills, night. Samuel sits in front of the piano, his fingers dancing across the keys. He is playing the Moonlight Sonata.
Favorite piece. I used to play it to her when we were dating. She never got tired of listening to it.
You played it beautifully, Daddy.
I should play more often.
Would you like some tea before I go to bed?
No, Pet. You go on up now. I'll be okay.
Fern Hills, garden, afternoon.
Roisin,
Huh?
where's Mummy?
Teresa told me she's staying in a flat on Rathgar Road.
Oh. Where'd she go away?
You know, Ben, in every marriage, one person gives and the other takes.
Oh. What's that mean, Roisin?
Well, remember when Mummy was sick and she had to go away to get better?
Yeah.
Well, Mummy had to go away again. And Daddy's letting. She loves us.
A street, afternoon. Roisin walks along an unfamiliar row of large Georgian houses, glancing up at each one as she passes. She spots the words Carrick Hall. She walks up the steps to the entrance, reads the names on the various buzzers, and finds Isabel G, flat 4. She presses it.
Hello?
Mummy, it's me.
Oh! Roisin! My darling! What a nice surprise! I'm all the way up on the top floor above you. See you in about half an hour.
Isabel opens the door in a caftan, her hair piled up. It's a small one-bedroom flat with large windows. There are a few dying plants dotted about, dirty dishes in the sink. The mantelpiece is bare, save for the family photo.
How on earth did you find me?
Teresa told me.
Oh! So, what do you think?
It's nice.
Well, of course it's no Fern Hills, but it is temporary. So how's Ben? Still following you about wherever you go?
Yes. He's in the first class now.
It's wonderful, darling. And Papa? How's he?
Not so good. Daddy had to stay up with him last night.
You know, I drive by the house late at night. I just haven't been able to. Would you tell him I'll come over and we can see him? Yes? I'll make you a nice cup of tea. And I have a nice cake.
Can I use the bathroom, Lily?
Yes, it's through there.
Walking through Isabel's bedroom, Roisin notices a man's suit and dressing gown hanging in an open wardrobe.
You're never coming back, are you, Lily?
I don't know, darling. Maybe someday soon. Does Daddy know you're here?
No. Came on my way home from school.
Oh, best get you back before he sends out the search party then. Here. Take my telephone number, just in case you need it.
Fern Hills. Henry, Pop's chauffeur, sits in the front seat of the Rolls Royce.
Is Pop sick? Why is Henry here so late? Has something happened?
Don't look at yourself worked up now. I don't know told you to worry as much. Mr. Jacobs is fine. Henry is here because the Mr. has a very important engagement this evening, and Henry will be driving him.
Is it a date? I bet it's with that Mrs. Golding. Last time we were in Shull, she followed us everywhere. She was holding onto Pop's arm all through the kiddush. And she kept shushing me away.
Questions.
At that moment, they notice Pop, feeling his way down the staircase, leaning onto the banister for support. When he reaches the bottom, he turns to face Roisin. He is dressed in a beautiful cashmere suit, silk tie and handkerchief, tie pin and cufflinks, and looks as handsome and debonair as he ever has.
It is not Mrs. Golding, as you suggest, but someone far more special than that. I have the old evening planned, theatre and then dinner at none other than the Golden Spoon. Now, Teresa, perhaps you'd be so kind as to bring me a brandy in the sitting room while I wait her ladyship.
Come right up, Sarah. You heard him, Roisin? He's waiting on your ladyship.
Me?
Yes, it's you. Trouble the house. Now go on up them stairs. Your Pop's after buying you the most gorgeous dress for your fancy night out.
Well, why? It's not my birthday or anything.
Will you go on, would you? Up them stairs now before he changes his mind.
Theatre. My Fair Lady. Pop and Roisin are seated in the VIP box. Golden Spoon Restaurant.
Did you bring Mummy here when she was a little girl?
No, not when she was a little girl, but on her 18th birthday, for a special treat.
But I'm not even close to 18.
Did I ever tell you about Popeye and olive oil?
Like in the cartoon?
Yes, exactly. I named my racing greyhounds after them.
You're racing greyhounds?
Yes. I won them in a bet along with the whole racecourse.
Begin fantasy. Casino. Night. 1940s. Younger Pop in a white dinner suit at a gambling table with a group of well-attired men. Pop fingers the cards in his hand and lays them on the table.
I've gambled in the finest tables all over the world. And then there was this chap, Benny Lancaster. Oh, we had such a rivalry going. And one night, when he was down on his luck and ran out of cash, he put up his course in Chapelisset.
Benny Lancaster, a slick gambler, throws his cards on the table in disgust. Younger Pop scoops up the chips. Roisin, beside him, takes a bundle of chips in her arms.
I had a good run of fortune that night, so I inherited the course and all the greyhounds along with it. But those two, Popeye and olive oil, they were my favourites. I took them everywhere.
Greyhound Racecourse. Day. A younger Pop leads two feisty greyhounds through a stadium. Roisin walks alongside him, arm linked through his. End fantasy.
I never knew about the racecourse, Pop.
No, darling, I imagine there's lots you don't know about my escapade.
Like what?
Did you know that I used to smuggle diamonds?
Diamonds? Really? Well, how did you manage that?
Ah, that's rather a long story. How about we save that for another time? Now, a toast.
Popeye?
And olive oil.
Pop and Roisin clink champagne glasses. Roisin's is only a quarter full. Fern Hills.
Go on up, darling. It's been a long night.
Thank you.
Would you mind some company, Samuel?
No, not at all. Good excuse for a nightcap. Come in. There's something on your mind, Abe.
Samuel, you've been more than kind to me. With Isabel gone, the house, the children, the business, so much to tend to. So I would have thought that... Well, I know I'm not going to get better. If you have to send me to the hospital or find a home for me, I'll understand.
Abe. Your family.
Roisin's bedroom. Later.
Can you finish the story about the diamonds?
Not tonight, darling. I'm very tired.
Oh, please.
All my stories, you know, they're written down in a book.
What book?
My secretary typed it up, and I put it in a special box. I imagine by now it's at the bottom of your mummy's wardrobe. I always said if ever it got published, it would have a naked lady, a wad of notes, and a deck of cards on the front cover. So, you might have to wait until you're a little older before you read it.
When will I be old enough?
When the time is right, my darling.
But how will I know?
You'll know.
A few hours later. Daddy? Daddy? Pop's not breathing right. A while later, Dr. Robinson stands over the bed.
I'll give them something to ease the breathing. But we may have to take it in. That's what it is.
We have to tell Isabel. I don't even have her number.
I know him.
How? Never mind that. Tell her to come immediately.
Sometime later.
Isabel, you're back.
Yeah. Yes, I am.
Jewish cemetery. Morning. The Goldsteins and a small group huddle around an open grave. The coffin is lowered slowly into the grave. Suddenly, Isabel crunches across the gravel, dressed in a miniskirt, fishnet stockings, and a wide-brimmed hat. Roisin's bedroom, night. Roisin sits on Pop's big double bed, devouring his manuscript page by page. Beside her is an antique box with a beautifully painted horse. Astride it is a young woman who looks uncannily like Isabel. Roisin reads, then lays back on the bed, clutching a sheaf of papers across her stomach. Begin fantasy. Fancy hotel room, day. Younger Pop stuffs diamonds into gefilte fish balls and wraps them up in wax paper, then places them inside a small cardboard box, gathers his hat and coat, and exits. Airport customs, day. Younger Pop waltzes through customs, the package in his arms. Roisin tags alongside him.
Got those smelly Jewish fish balls again, Mr. Jacobs?
Yes, I have. Would you like to travel?
Oh, not your love, Mr. Jacobs.
Airport lobby, day. Roisin and Pop march through the airport, arm in arm, the suspicious gefilte package between them. They emerge from the doorway into blinding sunlight.